Hey friends, this is Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead. Well, it's Easter weekend, and I want to make some raisin bread. I'm not always huge on hot cross buns, but I do love my raisin bread. Here's that potato water. This is the water I used to blanch all my potatoes when I was dehydrating them. I'm going to dump it into this pot and just put it on warm to bring it up so that it's not cold. If you don't have this, you can use regular water. I only have one egg and I'm getting low on milk, so that's what we're going to use. Okay, in this mammoth-sized bowl, I have some sugar and some yeast. My potato water is room temperature to lukewarm, and I'm just going to drop it in there. And I'm going to throw in 2 or 3 cups of my unbleached organic flour. And now I'm just going to throw in a cup of milk with an egg. Make sure that egg is all beaten up. Now, I'm not overly concerned about measuring the flour at this point. You know why? Because I'm going to be adding more after. So, now that the egg is all whisked in, we're going to switch to a wooden spoon. All right, maybe not. We're going to start in the center. And see when you start in the center how it picks up the flour at the edges? This is kind of what they call a bread sponge. You get things all rising and moving, and then you add more later. I have a feeling this one's going to overflow the table. All right, we're just going to let that get all activated. I'm just going to cover it and set it inside the oven, and then we'll be back when we are ready to turn that into raisin bread. Okay, before we go any further, I want to show you, this is what Ma Ingalls would call her bread sponge, which is what is really a liquidy form of bread dough that you can do with whatever you wish. First and foremost, I'm going to take out a good portion of this for my raisin bread, just like that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at all that wonderful gluten-y stuff. I'm going to set this aside back in the, this is for my raisin bread. And now this is for, I'm actually going to give my, this is for our regular bread. Okay, so this is why I did it this way, so I could do 2. Here is my organic unbleached flour. Oh, and it's cold. I should have taken it out of the freezer sooner. Oh well. We're just going to start putting in. Oh yeah, this is going to affect it. Well, let's hope the yeast is strong enough to deal with it. And I didn't salt this dough, so I'm going to put some in now, because I'm telling you, it don't taste right if you don't. All right. I mean, you'll get a good yeast rise, but all right, now let's just start. I've got 4 bread pans here, loaded with parchment, and I'm just going to start stirring this in until it is heavy enough to pour onto my tablecloth. I'm going to actually set this bag of flour in my oven on keep warm. And this, even though I have put it in that bowl, it's activating and bubbling just lovely. Alrighty. I like to get, now if my bread doesn't look white, it's because it's unbleached organic flour. I'm going to have to go to the plain white flour soon enough, but for Easter, we're going to use up our, yep. There we go. That's what we're talking about. Alrighty. I'm going to put some flour down here. And everybody asks me, Mrs. Wolfie, oh, that's ice cold. I'm going to put that in the Everybody asks me, Mrs. Wolfie, why do you put a tablecloth down? Because this is what your table would look like after kneading and trying to clean up. With the tablecloth, you just take it out, shake it out, and it's all good to go. Alrighty, kitties. Let's just take our now raisin dough and we're going to shake our tablecloth off into there. Don't waste any of the flour. Get your nose away, Muggy. Alright. Now, in goes some flour. And cinnamon. Lots of cinnamon. Some salt. And sugar. Because this is a sweet bread. So I put about a cup of sugar in there. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about now. Now you watch. This is where the magic happens. And we're going to stir this. And we're going to stir it. And we're going to dump it out here. Scrape out our bowl. And don't let your cloth get... I'm getting dough all over me. I got dough on my boob. Don't let your cloth get damp with the dough. Make sure that it doesn't stick, that you keep the flour on there until you have your smooth and elastic bread. See how it's sticking to the cloth, folks? You don't want that. Ideally, you just want to be able to take the cloth and flick it outside without anything really stuck to the dough. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this dough out. It doesn't have to be like pie thin or anything like that, but you want it fairly rectangular. And I'm going to show you why. Now I got a knob of butter here, and I'm just going to kind of spread it on here in bits and drabs. Not as heavy as if this was a sticky bun, but enough. Just a little bit all over the place. More cinnamon. Oops. Little bit more sugar. Not much. Just enough. We're going to spread that all around. Make sure you get it right to the edges. And then comes the raisins. And I love me my raisins. Oh! And now I'm just going to spread these raisins all over here like this. No, Gracie, you can't have raisins. And I'm just going to roll this up. All right, these are going to go right. I'm going to put these to rise, and then all of my bread is going to go into the oven at 350 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. I don't know how well you can see it, but there it all is in my oven. 350 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. Here is my raisin bread, and I'm about to take the white bread out of the oven. So here's my raisin bread. It doesn't look like there's a lot of raisins in it, but there is enough in there to make it flavorful. Next time I will add more. If you want more raisins, add more by all means. It's just that my sister can't have them and Howie doesn't like them. This way, if they want the cinnamon bread, they can just pick the raisins out. And there's the white bread. Well, unbleached. Isn't that beautiful? This is the Miss Buffy from our half-acre homestead saying, so there's not a lot of raisins in it. But it still wouldn't be Easter weekend without raisin bread. Take care, God bless.